morning from sunny Malaysia. I'm Liew with Victory News Network, your number one news station for change and innovation. Today, we are looking at an organizational change experience for a merger between two churches that eventually formed Victory Center Malaysia over 4 years ago. I had the privilege to lead during the merger of the two wonderful Foursquare churches, and in this segment, I will share with you some of the things we did right and wrong in the process of bringing our two groups together. Church mergers are not common. It is not surprising considering the complexity and difficulty in merging two organizations. In the corporate world, mergers and acquisitions or M&As have very high failure rates. In a recent Harvard Business Review report, the failure rate for M&A stands between 70 and 90%. This is not surprising considering that management will need to work on inherent systemic issues and the differences in cultural values from both sides. People tend to resist change. 80% of all M&As fail because of improper handling of change management. Change management is crucial for any organization, let alone companies that are going through M&As. John Kotter, in his 1996 book called Leading Change, highlighted 8 steps to managing change effectively. Firstly, creating a sense of urgency. Victory Center was birthed out of a sense of urgency to improve the ministries and the spiritual lives of the members of both churches. By merging two churches, we could pool our resources together to accomplish our goals. Secondly, building a core coalition. Victory Center had a strong leadership team from the two churches, and we worked together for many months planning the merger. Thirdly, forming a strategic vision. During our combined leadership meetings for many months, we strategized and planned our launch and laid out our vision for what Victory Church would become one day. Fourth, in Kotter's 8-step change model is getting everyone on board. This is important. Leadership from both churches took the time to communicate the merging process, and it became an exciting journey for the two groups when we first started meeting together. The 5th step is removing barriers and reducing friction. We did our best to remove any part of our church that will hinder a smooth transition of this merger. For example, we cleared up any pending financial issues and created a systematic procedure for managing our finances. The 6th step is generating short-term wins. We had a soft launch for our first service together, and then we worked our way to bigger events later on, such as launching our services into a movie theater as part of our evangelistic efforts. The 7th and 8th steps are sustaining acceleration and setting the changes in stone. These 2 steps are the parts where we failed to achieve and we lost momentum in growth after our first year into our merger. The change management process was missing some important elements. Kotter's 8-step model is, after all, dependent on top leadership alone. Victory leaders were the key personnel to the change process, but change wasn't caught on by all the other members yet. We had a very weak culture, and worse, we did not know our own culture. One time, we decided to stop serving lunch after our Sunday service due to the increased attendance after the merger. Many members were unhappy with this decision, which led to our attendance and giving to drop significantly in the preceding months. It may seem trivial, but it showed that we lacked understanding of our own culture at that time. Then I was introduced to the cultural assessment tool called the Organizational Cultural Assessment Instrument, or the OCAI. The OCAI is a tool derived from the Competing Values Cultural Framework developed by Robert E. Quinn and Kim S. Cameron. This framework is a descriptive model of 4 competing cultural values, which are clan, market, adhocracy, and hierarchy culture. A strong culture is strategically important to any organization, as it sets the tone for its members to either thrive in a good culture or strive in a toxic culture. So we used the OCAI survey to gather data from 40 participants in Victory Church. And then we found that our dominant culture, both current and preferred, is the clan culture. And we are weak on the market culture quadrant. We see our members being very close to each other, but neglected making new visitors feeling comfortable and welcome. Being weak in the market culture means that we are also not concerned about achieving results. Our services were often not on time, and we did not follow up on new visitors. These conditions would have led to a slow death in our church. We addressed these cultural issues by first presenting the survey findings to all the leadership in our church. And then we took steps to evolve away from all the negative culture that was harming our growth. We did this by rewarding behavior, practices, and ministry plans that will enhance the market culture of our church. And we did away with unnecessary fellowship events that was not edifying to the entire body. And after 1 year into the cultural discovery and change plan, Victory Church managed to become more productive, efficient, and we kept our dominant clan culture intact altogether. During this year, which partly included the pandemic lockdown, we have grown both in numbers and finances. Understanding and taking steps to gain a positive culture has helped Victory Church stay healthy and vibrant even in tough times. We hope you have enjoyed our change story for today. Once again, this is Joel Liew from VNN, and we thank you for joining us in this segment of change and innovation. Until next time, keep changing and keep innovating.